I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737-777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. All right, well, hey, welcome to the Code Freedom Podcast. This is Eddie Bales, and this is episode 232, and I'm excited to have Maurice Martin on the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. And, I really enjoy having someone like you on the podcast. We talk about freedom a lot. And the most important level of freedom, in my opinion, is spiritual freedom, right?
That's
because
it.
if we don't get our soul right, then nothing else really matters.
That's it.
And so I thought your story was really fascinating. And so, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you wrote a book called Your Butt is Too Big. So
Yes,
tell
sir.
us a little bit about that and how it came to be about.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit of my story. So I'm 39 years old right now. I have like a little bit of a baby face, but in my 20s, I was a professional musician and had, a lot of great experiences, opened for some big acts, had national licensing deals, MTV, VH1, all that good stuff, was signed to a couple independent record labels. So on paper, my life was in a great place. But in real life, in all actuality, I was miserable. I was fighting depression. I was fighting anxiety. I had a lot of childhood trauma that I hadn't healed from. And so eventually, my music career fizzled out and I was left with the remnant of it. I was left with, well, now you don't got nothing but you, and you don't like you. What are you going to do about it? And I'll be honest in saying my life got to a point where I was suicidal. I didn't know if I wanted to be here on the earth anymore. And I ended up having like a major spiritual awakening, kind of a moment that shifted the course of my life. And since then, I became a spiritual life coach. I became a counselor. And then, eventually an author. And so my new book, Your Butt is Too Big. It's this concept that we've all said, man, I would be farther in my life right now, but yeah, well, I would be working on that with my mental health, my physical health, my financial health, whatever it is. And I believe that your butt is directly tied to the things in your life that you have not processed, healed from, or dealt with. In other words, you had some past disappointments and they're affecting the way you make decisions. You have some trauma, some drama, some pain you've been through, and you haven't healed from it. So it's affecting how you care for yourself, how you care for your spouse, how you care for your finances, how you care for, you see what I'm saying? It affects everything. So Your Butt is Too Big just says, why don't you find a way to process what you've been through? Just like when you decide, you know what, I don't like the size of my gut. I want to start working through this stuff. I want to burn it off. I want to go exercise. I want to change my diet so that eventually the stuff that I have consumed no longer holds me back in my physical health. What if you process everything you've consumed emotionally so that it no longer holds you back with your spiritual health? And so that's really the principle behind kind of where I'm at right now and what it is that I believe in.
Wow, man, there's so much to unpack and everything that you just said. We talk about this a lot on the podcast about paradigms and paradigm shifts and things like that, because, a lot of people don't realize that we operate today based off of how we grew up.
Yeah.
And we don't even know. Sometimes it's just what we caught. We weren't necessarily taught it. We just saw it. And that's just
Absolutely
what became our lifestyle. And we do it and we don't know why we do it. And then we wonder why it's not getting us where we want to go. So I just think this is so powerful and it's a great conversation. And, the last podcast that I did, the episode I did, we actually talked about there's no skip ad in this season.
Mm.
There's no skip ad in this season. And the thing that's interesting is that from all your past hurts and your trauma that you dealt with, this now has equipped you to be able to teach other people. So just think of all the people who wouldn't be free because of where you are now if you didn't go through it. But of course, it's not fun when we're in the mess.
Yeah. And what you just said right now, I hope every person who's listening heard you, because the statement, if it's true for me, it's true for all of us, right? If you've been through a lot, Maurice, you don't understand, I've been through a lot of stuff. Okay. The question is, have you learned from it? Have you grown from it? Have you matured through it? Or did it just make you bitter and broken? Right? Like, get something out of the pain. Get something out of the experience. That's what we're saying. Some people, yes, you've got resentments from what you've been through, but you never really got any wisdom. You didn't grow and mature and become something different because of what you've been through. And I don't think that it's just you and I who can get there. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing. I'm not a superhero. I'm just a guy who dealt with my stuff. And why can't every other person do that? I think everybody can.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. And you talk about in your book about how, when people are stuck and how they can get unstuck. Just give us one idea of someone that, because I know somebody listening saying, like you said, you don't understand my situation, and I've been through it all, and blah blah blah. And hey, we're not negating what you've been through, but there is a way out. And so, if you don't mind telling us just one way people can get unstuck.
Sure, absolutely. So the first thing is you have to be willing to know what you're stuck in, right? So in my book, I break down 7 principles. And the first one is simply evaluate your situation, right? So you're trying to get unstuck and you call your boy and you're like, hey, I'm in my car and I'm stuck. Are you stuck in the snow? Are you stuck in the mud? Are you stuck in the driveway or on the highway? Where are you stuck? What's the vehicle you're stuck in? How long you been stuck? Is there traffic around you? Is there nobody around you? Because the situation you're in matters. And so what I think that we need to do is, it's important that you say, okay, I've been stuck for a while, but what does that mean to me? Like for Maurice, for me, when I was stuck, I didn't want to live anymore. I had a point in my life when I was stuck, my finances were off. When I was stuck, my relationships were broken. Well, for some people, they're stuck and they've got 6 figures. They're stuck and they've got a beautiful family. They're stuck and they're the CEO of a company. And stuck on paper is not apparent, because they're only stuck when they lay their head down on the pillow at night and they think about their life and they realize that they've been keeping themselves busy to run from how they feel. Stuck looks different on you than it does on me. Stuck feels different than it does. So the first thing you have to do to get unstuck is to know what your stuck is. How does it feel? What does it look like? What does it involve? Because once you figure that out, you can do something about it. If you're like, nah, I'm actually good spiritually. I'm not spiritually stuck. I'm physically stuck. Cool. Now we can go get you to the right fitness instructor to help you with that. You know what, Maurice? I'm actually good physically. Like, I'm taking care of my body. I'm prayed up. I'm doing my self-care. My finances are off. Well, we're going to send them to you. So what kind of stuck are you? You see what I'm saying? Like, I got to know what kind of stuck I am so I know where to go.
Yeah, that's so good, because each stuck requires a different tool,
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful. I love that. I love that. So, you say that you're a spiritual coach, and I know people will normally say I have a pastor, but tell us about being a spiritual coach. What does that look like, or how does that actually work?
Sure. Well, it all depends. There's a lot of different types of spiritual coaches. So for me, in some ways, spiritual coaching looks like discipleship in some ways. And in other ways, it looks like accountability, right? It looks like multiple things. So the example that I would give you is, a person will come up to me. I've got chaplains who come to me. I've got elders of churches. I mean, I have a lot of different types of people who have come to me. And then I also have business owners. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of different types of people I've worked with. So we sit down and I say, what is it that you're looking to accomplish? Where do you feel stuck? And then we come up with plans and we come up with a system of accountability. So I'm helping you to kind of look at your situation. I'm helping you assess your situation. And then I'm providing accountability to make sure you're working through your situation. I don't replace your pastor, I supplement your pastor. Your pastor is going to keep discipling you. Your pastor is going to keep praying for you. Your pastor, if you got a good pastor, you're going to keep going to them for a word or for scriptures to read. I'm going to do the same thing. You come to me, I'm going to say, where are you at? Let's talk about your feelings. Let's talk about your emotions. Let's talk about, and then sometimes we're going to say, okay, have you prayed about this yet? Before you came to me, did you pray? What is God saying? If you haven't talked to God yet, let's sit down right now and do that. So I handle a bunch of different things, and then I also handle life strategy. Okay, so a person will say, look, I want to start a nonprofit organization and I kind of know how I want to build it, but I've been afraid to really get into like the fine details of looking for the grants and looking for the board and looking for the things I want. What are the reasons you haven't done what you want to do yet? So we're going to have a conversation because I'm equipped. I've counseled and I've done so many things. We're talking about what is the fear? Where's the anxiety coming from? How are you handling the fear, the anxiety, and the worry? What are the things from your past that are affecting your inability to move forward in the thing that you say you believe in? So you want to build this thing and you're on fire about it, but you won't build it. You feel like you're meant to write this book, but you won't write it. What is it from your past that's keeping you from writing the book? Your pastor doesn't always have time to sit down and go over that with you. You see it, like you don't always have the time to really sit down and go, oh wow, let's just spend an hour talking about how that thing that happened to me when I was 6 is affecting my confidence in writing my book now at 46. So we go there and we deal with the emotional stuff, and then we say, okay, now let's come up with some practical goals. Some practical goals have to do with self-care. Some practical goals have to do with your prayer life. Some practical goals have to do with, I expect the first chapter of your book to have been started by the next time I see you. And we'll talk about the experience and how it felt and how it worked. I had a client I was working with last week. I know this is a long answer, but a lot of people have those questions. Why do I need a spiritual coach? So somebody called me and they said, I'm preaching on Sunday and I'm working on my message and I just wanted to talk to you about it. And we're having a conversation, and during the conversation, the person says, there's something I feel like I'm supposed to discuss in my sermon, but I don't feel ready to discuss it. And so we spent the majority of our hour talking about what it was they were afraid to assess and proceed with in their message. So on Sunday, I watched their sermon and I watched them confidently talk about the thing they were supposed to talk about. That doesn't mean they couldn't have had the conversation with their pastor. It means that they chose to have it with me, and I supplemented probably what their pastor said to them. I gave them more. I gave them some fine tuning. I gave them some thinking exercises and some prayer exercises. Then I interceded for them while they prayed, while they preached. So when you're a spiritual coach, you can just like be in it in a whole bunch of different places.
Have you ever wanted to invest in the stock market, but you just didn't know which platform to use? Well, there's an easy app that I like to use. It's simple and it's free. It's called Robinhood. And if you go into our show notes, you actually can click on the link. You can set up an account. Again, it's free. And when you do that, once you set it up, you actually can get a free stock just for being a Code Freedom listener. And so, look, you can do short term trading, long term trading. You can buy options, and there's so many other little different things that you can do. So take advantage of it today, and let's get you on your course to investing. Have you ever wanted to invest in the stock market, but you just didn't know how? That's exactly where I found myself. Is I just didn't know what to pick it, when to sell it, all of that good stuff. But I found an online community. I've been with this community for about a year now, and I love it. It's amazing. They discuss things like generational wealth, stock options, investing, business strategy, and so much more. So online community that will support, encourage, and hold each other accountable to achieving goals and striving for greatness. So we talk about things like get money and buy income, but how do you buy income? What do you buy? Well, these are the types of things that we talk about in this community, and I think you'll enjoy it. So if you'd like to be a part of it, you get a special link. It's bit.ly bit.ly/wealth squad 3. That's bit.ly/wealth squad 3. And you get a chance to be a part of this amazing community. And let's grow together. Man, I'm just getting so excited over here because, like, you just said so much. And, like, for instance, the pastor will preach, but then that word, like how did it get implemented?
Yeah.
And the whole very definition of a coach really is somebody who can be accountable. Like, we know how to work out, but when you go get a coach, you can make sure you actually do the workout.
That's it. When you go to the doctor, does the personal trainer eradicate the importance of the doctor? No. You go to your doctor says, listen, I need you to focus on your weight. I need you to focus on your diet. I need you to focus on, well, when I go to the dietitian later, or when I go to the personal trainer, that doesn't mean that the doctor was irrelevant. It means that they work together to help you with your physical health.
Exactly.
I'm just working with the people that you're already working with to help you with your spiritual health. Yeah. I'm less pastoral and more prophetic. Okay. Right. So you have to also know where you are in the body. That's a whole other conversation. We all work together. Like, I'm the type of person who, like, I can sit with you and I can be like, I have a word for you right now. And I'm sensing that this is something that the Lord is trying to get to you. Are you receiving that? That's different than being pastoral in some ways. You know what I mean? And so it's understanding the role you play. That's all.
Yeah, it's huge, because I talk about this a lot, is that I believe the reason why most people are not where they want to be is because of accountability, right? Yes. We know what to do, but we don't do what we know.
Yes, because it's hard. It's hard to do what you know. Because at the end of the day, again, I'm carrying the dead weight of my past disappointments, my past failures, my past frustrations. I carry that weight and the pressure of how badly I want it now. So I've got multiplied weight that I'm carrying into my destiny. That's tough. So what I come in and do is I help you drop some of the dead weight so you're only carrying the pressure of today.
Wow. Well, I hope people reach out to you, because this is so valuable and so needed in the body, and just in society, period. Mm-hmm. So, let me ask you a question. Why do you believe spiritual freedom? I mean, you kind of touched on it already, but why do you believe spiritual freedom is probably the most important of all the freedoms? It is the most important, not probably. It is. So why do you believe that?
I think, how do I say this? I think that every type of freedom we help people with, they're all equally important, right? And the reality is that I believe that God has put you on the earth and me on the earth because everybody needs what we both have to offer. I have met people who were spiritually free, yet they were in bondage in their finances. So were they actually spiritually free? Or did they have a generational curse from the understanding of money and the relationships of what they've seen and what they've experienced with it? So you're still in bondage in an area. Here's what I know. When I read my scripture, I'm a Christian. So the scripture says, he who the Son sets free is free indeed. So how is it that so many of us as Christians are in bondage in our minds? We're still stuck in depression like where we were before we became Christians. We're still stuck in anxiety. We're still stuck in worry. We're still stuck in an unhealed trauma from the past. We're still there. Well, how are you still there if God said you were free? And so I think that what God does is he gives us opportunities to actually walk in the freedom he's already given us. It's not that I'm setting you free. I'm showing you you're free. I'm coming to you and I'm saying, I watched an episode you did the other day, and there was a woman who was on it. She was fantastic. She was talking about the importance of meditation, right? If I sit still in this moment, I'm free. There is nothing in this moment keeping me from peace. There is nothing in this moment keeping me from joy. There is nothing in this moment keeping me from everything God promised me I can have, which is peace that surpasses understanding, which means God can give me peace that don't make no sense. So if it's true that there's nothing in this moment keeping me from peace, then my lack of peace is in here. And if someone shows me that, I can walk into the peace. I can express the fullness of what it is that God has already given me. So I think that it's important, because everything that isn't peace is an illusion. It's an illusion. I'm gonna give you guys an example, because sometimes you get to talk about this and people are like, I don't know what you're talking. You asked me a question before we started this interview. You said, do you do this full time now? Because you saw, I'm a best-selling author, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker. I was like, yeah, this is what I do now, right? When I said it, did I seem stressed?
Not at all.
I seem like I'm embracing this thing, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I was in prayer in December, the very beginning of December. I'm driving home from work. I was counseling at a facility, and I heard God say, I need your new book to come out on your birthday. My birthday was January 17th. It's the beginning of December. He said, I need your book out on your birthday. I was like, Lord, I'm planning on putting my book out in March. I'm not ready. I haven't even finished writing. I hadn't finished writing my book. He said, I need your book to come out on your birthday. I called my spiritual mentor, and I was like, yo, this is what I just heard the Lord say. And she was like, yep, that sounds right. You just need to make sure you're in alignment with whatever he says. I rush through finishing my book. I get it to my editor. I do everything. I'm grinding. I'm hustling, trying to get this book out. I don't even understand why I'm doing it. But Lord, I'm barely going to have any promotion time. My book comes out on January the 17th, Tuesday. On Friday, I walk into the place where I'm counseling at, and I get laid off. Everybody in the position that I was in at that facility was laid off.
Wow.
It's almost like the Lord knew what was coming. And so there's these moments that I have as a normal human, because I'm normal, right? So I'm talking to my wife. I got two babies. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old and a wife. And I'm saying, yo, I got to hustle. I got to go make some money. I got to go figure this out. And she's like, okay, did God tell you to do that? Well, no, I just know that normal life, you got to go hustle. Okay, let's make sure your hustle is in line with whatever God says. And there's been a couple opportunities I've had in the last 2 months. So this is 2 months. I haven't had a job. There's been times when opportunities came, I prayed about it. I sensed I wasn't supposed to have it. And my soul wants to panic. Oh my God, what are we going to do? We're not going to be able to pay the bill. And I didn't do it. And then somebody dropped $500 in my Cash App for no reason.
Wow. Wow.
The fear was an illusion. Am I telling everybody quit your job and don't do no work? No, I didn't say that. But if the Lord makes it clear to you that there's a path you're supposed to be on, he's required to provide for it. And so sometimes I'll be sitting in a room with my babies watching cartoons, and I just put in a full day's work, but I'm feeling unsettled because like the work I've done hasn't generated any money, and I can't enjoy watching the cartoons with my babies. And my wife is like, why are you not enjoying this moment? Oh, because, maybe there's something else I can do today. Maybe there's another way I can generate some money. Maurice, in this moment, is there actually anything wrong? No. This is my mind. I can be free of the bondage of my mind. So I go pray about it. I journal on it. I go meditate. I go for a walk outside. I go for a ride in my car. I call one of my boys on the phone. I call my spiritual advisor on the phone. I get it out and I take my peace back. That's freedom.
Wow.
Freedom is not perfection of life. Freedom is not letting the things that you don't have any control over control you.
Whew. Man, that's good. Man, that's so good. Wow. Well, this has been phenomenal. And I definitely want people to get with you. Let me ask you one more question before we go. What's one of your biggest dreams that you like to accomplish?
Ooh, good question. Man, I want to see the world. I've seen a lot of the country. I have not seen the world. And so I want to go to different countries, experience the countries, and speak life in them. You know what I mean? Like I want to minister in places, and I actually haven't been to the West Coast either. So I want to go to places I've never been. I want to experience the place, and I want to make an impact on the place while I'm there. I think that's the dream, to experience it and for it to experience me and what God has put in me. I think that's it.
That's powerful. Any place you'd like to go first?
Ooh, no, not really, because I got a list a mile long of places I haven't been.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I love it, man. Well, hey, how can our viewers reach you?
Yeah, you can go to mauricefmartin.com. If you go there, man, I got a couple freebies on there. You can do a free 30-minute consultation with me. So the easiest way is mauricefmartin.com, and of course social media, Maurice F Martin. I'm on IG, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook. So come find me. Let's have a conversation.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys reach out, and I'll also put the link in the show notes. So listen, guys, it's been an honor to have you on the show, Mr. Martin, and hey, we can't wait to have you back.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate this time, and keep doing the great work you're doing, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for all you do. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.